Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to take a look at the ESC and receiver of the Redcat Volcano EPX. I've had some people inquiring about those particular items, if they're waterproof, not waterproofed. So I decided just to go ahead and dig in to both those units, and we'll take a look. For today we'll need some double-sided sticky tape, a regular balloon, and some zip ties. So I went ahead and I've done a little bit of the work already. I've already removed the ESC from the body and separated the little lid here, but I put it all back together so we can kind of go through it, and I've already removed the receiver from the servo. Now the servo itself I've looked up and it is waterproof. I've checked several sites and they all say the same thing, it's pretty well waterproof, so we're not going to mess with that one too much. But if there are any worries, you can just take that receiver out, or the servo out, remove the top lid, and you can put an O-ring, a small O-ring on the gear shaft that comes out of the servo. Put a little bit of blue waterproof grease on that, just a small bit. Put the top back on and go ahead and dip it. I use just the regular plastic dip, and you can just dip it right down in there and let it drip for a little bit and then have it dry for 24 hours. You could probably do the same for the receiver. Now this one's got like a little button in there. I'm not sure if it's for programming or what, so I hesitated dipping this. But if you do want to dip it, you can get some servo 6-inch servo leads. Just go ahead and stick them in all the ports that you feel you're going to use, and then just dip the receiver, and then just go ahead and plug your wires into the 6-inch extended servo lead. But for today we're going to go ahead and put it in a balloon, because this is not waterproof by any means. But let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and remove the wires from the receiver. And you can see it's just a little plastic shell with these two openings right here. One's a light, and the other one I believe is the little button in there you use for binding and programming. So I hesitate dipping it. I'm going to go ahead and put it in a balloon. And then we have our ESC. Go ahead and remove the power leads. Like I said, I've already removed this little shell here, and it just clips on. You can see there's a clip here, and there's a clip here, and the same on the other side. You just kind of push in the clip, pry this up, and it comes just right off. It gives us a chance to take a peek and look and see what's down inside here. And when I examined it, you can see that there's a plastic coating in down there, whether they epoxied it. Let's see if I can get it in there a little closer for you. Yeah, it's hard, but it looks like they did put some epoxy down in here. So it does look like it's waterproof pretty good. I'm looking at both sides. Where the wires go in is sealed really well. I mean, if you're a little cautious, you can put some plastic dip in there around the wires, or you can use a glue stick and run some glue stick around in there. I'm going to go ahead and plastic dip. I've got some liquid black tape, electrical tape. I'm going to go ahead and wipe around the wires right here on the back side. These front ones look pretty good, so I think we're going to be okay right there. And this is the jumper to go from NiCad or metal hydride battery to LiPo. You see your two posts right here? You slide this jumper to the front two posts for NiCad or metal hydride, and then you slide it to the back if you want to go to LiPo. It just pops up, you just slide it back and pop it on. So, okay, I just used liquid tape, and I'll go ahead and just get it smeared on everything down in here. Just smear it on there real heavy. Get up underneath. And we'll go in between the wires. And we just want to make sure we just got a really good coating on right there. And that looks pretty good. So we'll set that off to the side to dry. You know, this is even small enough, this receiver, you could probably put your wires in and wrap it with black tape or something to that effect and seal it up just as well. Just a thought. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off. We're going to let that liquid tape dry, and then I'll get the wires hooked back up to the receiver, and we'll get it inserted into the balloon, and I'll show you how I do that. Be back in a minute. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put the receiver into the balloon. You can see I got my wires hooked up. I went ahead and just taped them down to the front because all this is going to extend out the front neck of the balloon. So I'm going to get my lovely wife here to help me. So you see an extra set of hands come in. I'm going to go ahead and stretch the balloon. You can just slide it in. Slide it in that way. Don't pull on it. So, you stretch the balloon open, I'll have her inserted in there. Just like so. That'll work. And if you can see that on the camera, yeah, we'll just go ahead and release it. And we've got our balloon and our receiver, just like so. So now, just take a zip tie, and you want to go ahead and zip tie right here. Get it nice and tight. And now the only drawback of this is going to be is the bottom of the receiver had the little foam sticky on it to stick on top of the servo. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to attach that yet, but by the end of the video I'll have an answer for you. But right now you see the receiver's in the balloon. There is some space in there. The receivers do give off a little bit of heat, but I don't think it's enough that being in the balloon is going to cause any problems with the receiver. I tied off the neck. Now if you really if you're gonna submerge this thing like a submarine, then I suggest you put on another zip tie and fill the end full of silicone, so you absolutely know that no moisture is gonna get inside the balloon. But for what I do, running around in the snow, splashing through a little creek or something that's not too deep, this is gonna be adequate protection for that receiver. So right now I'm going to go ahead, I still got a little bit of drying time left on the liquid tape. I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off again, and I'll get back with you as soon as I start setting everything into place. Alright, I went ahead and put 2 small pieces of 2-sided sticky tape on the ESC. Go ahead and we're just going to stick it down to the plastic chassis. Like so. Plug in our wires, motor wires, and yeah, we got a few loose wires here. And go ahead and take another small zip tie. We'll get all these tied back up again. And as you can see, I went ahead and I put a bigger zip tie right around the receiver here. And I just wrapped it around that top support frame. It holds it in there. Yeah, it's, it's pretty snug. It's going to be okay for the riding that I do with it. If that ends up being a problem later on down the road, I'll think of something else. But for right now, what we're doing here, I think it's going to be adequate. And as you can see, here's where I went ahead and put a little bit of liquid tape just around these wires, just to ensure that there's no problems going into the ESC. And we're actually pretty good to go. I'll get my antenna inserted back up through the hole here. Snip off this little bit of extra from the zip ties, and I'll get it all buttoned up, and we should be good to go. Got everything plugged in. It works. There you have it. We'll get her outside and get her running some wet weather. We'll see how it does. Thanks for watching.